Hey guys, this is Livetrak Media. Welcome back. I'm at CityMusic with Jace, and he's going to tell me about this series of Zoom L mixers. Now, Zoom carries different types of audio recorders and mixers. They have the H series, the L series, and the F series. The H series is like handy recorders. The L series is like for live mixing, and the F series is for field recordings. So Jace, tell me about these L mixers.
Okay, so the L series from Zoom is basically a whole lineup of digital mixers. So differing from the H and F, where you just really focus on audio recording, the L series allows you to mix audio, so for like band settings and such. So it gives you the versatility of having 12 channels, right? From the L12, we had 12 channels, which was way more than any of the H and F series. And being able to record each track individually and having a 3-band EQ physically, allowing for you to do very quick on-the-fly adjustments, which is very crucial for band setups. So it was such a huge hit in the market that Zoom decided, hey, let's do something even better.
So this is the OG.
This is the OG L series,
mixer,
right? So after that, decided, let's do the L20.
Something bigger, something.
We want
better.
more. Guys was like, we want more inputs. It's like 12 isn't enough, right? So they wanted 20 inputs. So we went to L20, right? So the L20 is basically the big brother of the L12. You have 20 channel input. You have a lot more monitor outs if you needed to. And again, you have the same lightweight function capabilities.
It's really light.
It's really light because if you look at traditional analog mixers, they tend to be super heavy, right? Because of all the metal hardware, right? The metal chassis. So it's going to be so much heavier and so much more expensive. Whereas like the Zooms, they are lightweight, but they are fully featured and fully capable of doing exactly what analog mixer can do, and even more. So one thing I didn't touch on was that being Zoom, right? Zoom is known for recording, for recorders. All of these mixers we have right in front of us, they are capable of being recorded. So you can record straight into the SD card, like how you would on the H series or the F series.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and the idea is that you can record each track separately, which is something that Zoom really likes to have among their lineup. So you could have, say, maybe 3 singers, like a few guitarists, some bassists, a drummer, and you can have each track recorded individually, and you can mix it for live setting so that the live venue can get the best possible sound. But in post, you can record your SD card, and you can have each track individually for you to mix and master to get the best possible result in post-processing.
So in the past, those analog mixers, right, they couldn't really record sound.
Yeah, so back then it was really like you kind of had to record it externally on, say, maybe a H series or an F series. Whereas you were feeding one of your outputs and you just get a master track, you don't get to have each individual track. And that was really, that was the best you could do at the time. But with advancing technology, right, we could have all these individual tracks at your fingertips. Another key feature is that being as a digital mixer, you can save presets. So it's kind of like LUTs, right? Whereas you can save a certain preset for maybe this certain band or maybe this certain setup, and then you can just record a preset, and you sort of have a very nice starting point to go from. So that's the L20. Subsequently, after that, we came out with the L20R, which is this boy over here, right? So incredibly lightweight. So I could really just hold this with one hand. So it offers the same features and functionality and the amount of inputs as the L20, right? Just that you see that there's no physical controls.
So you lose many of the features and functions of the L20.
You don't actually. You actually access it through the application.
Is that easier to use, or is
it's
it more
actually,
cumbersome?
I think it really depends on your workflow. But say if you were to have it set up, say maybe my camera was like maybe 20 meters away, whereas this was like set up near the talent.
So you can control it remotely if you need to.
Yeah, so you can have a sound guy out of the frame, maybe in the aircon, right? And then just doing everything individually from the application. And the key thing is that it costs about the same as the L12, which is about $900, whereas the L20 is about $1,400, right? But it gives you the same amount of inputs and the versatility of using app from a distance.
That's cool. And then you can see the amount of inputs at the back. It's like, there's a lot.
Yeah, this is more than what most people need, but it's there for you. If you ever want it, it's there.
It's better to have it and not need it.
Yeah, that's right. It's better to have
need it and then you don't have it there.
Yeah.
And then what about this one right here, the L8?
Right. So over here we have the star of the show, the Zoom L8. And the L8 being the little brother of the family, it's kind of like, they knew what went wrong with the older siblings. And then what was good about it and then they brought it to the next generation and added more.
Features.
So the L8, right, the key thing is that it's so lightweight, it's so compact, and it's so affordable at $555, right? And on top of being small and lightweight, it's also extremely portable in that you can use batteries to run it.
How many batteries?
Right, so it's like 4 AA batteries.
Oh, wow.
So you're going to see over here.
So how long would these batteries normally
You'll
last for?
run about 5 to 8 hours.
Oh, that's really long.
Yeah, and that's with phantom power as well. And if you felt like that wasn't enough, you can actually run it from USB power bank. So you can use any portable mobile power bank and then have it almost run indefinitely.
So does it mean that this is a very power efficient?
It's power efficient, it's extremely portable.
Oh, that's nice.
You don't need to be chained to a wall if you need to use it. In fact, you can if you want to do a podcast in the middle of jungle, you could.
I don't see that happening.
Right. In fact, we actually one of our podcasts we actually held this, and then just like walk and talk all the way to McDonald's to buy choco pie. Yeah. So
Walk
like,
the talk. Do you have a case of it? Or
literally, we just like held this like that, hold on Mac like that, and then just like walked, and then just like did our podcast while walking to McDonald's. So it's crazy how you could do this. Like back then, if you want to do a podcast, you had to have a heavy mixer.
Yep.
You'd have a static setup, right? You couldn't just do any way you wanted to. But with the L8, that brought so much versatility, portability to the podcast world.
So for someone who wants to do like a podcast or audio recording, why would they use something like this, a mixer, instead of a normal, maybe a Zoom H1 or H6? What's the difference there?
First of all, you'll get so much more inputs, right? So you have 8 inputs here. So that is something you can find on the H8. But that being said, the H8 is more of a handy recorder. You kind of have to dive in to get into the features and functionality. Whereas for something like the L8, right, I could easily EQ all my mics, EQ all my instruments if I need to on the fly, which is kind of like what the L series has to offer, right? Being able to mix on the spot spontaneously through a very analog-like interface. And that really makes things a lot easier when you're trying to do a podcast, when you're trying to record a band. What is even more exciting about the L8 is that it comes with the sample pads. Like what we saw on the H8, except that this one is a physical button. So you could have your clap tracks, you could have laugh tracks, right? You could have all your set trombone sound, all mapped to these 6 physical buttons here.
And then you can just activate it.
Yeah, so like maybe say, hey guys, welcome to another podcast, right? And then I just
play intro music.
Yeah, play intro music, play a clap track. I can get people to laugh at my sad jokes.
This mixer makes you funnier when you're not.
It makes me funnier and it really enhances like a lot of things that you used to have to do in post-production, right? Adding like laugh tracks, clap tracks, all this kind of thing. You could really just do on the spot, spontaneous, and it's great in that you can do it on live stream, like without worrying about doing it in post, and it makes your post job a lot easier as well.
See, makes it faster as well, right?
And of course, like with all the L series, you still have every individual track, and that includes the sample pads as well. So say if you're doing in post and you realize, hey, my timing was off for that sample track, I could just remove it, I could shift it around, and that's where like, the L series really shines in that you have a full traditional mixer setup where you can get the best possible live mix on the go, on the spot right now. So that's good for live stream, that's good for live music. But being a recorder as well, right? You can record every track individually and have it like tailor-made, put to its best potential in post-production. So it really brings the best of both worlds.
Would you recommend maybe running this off to an external recorder so there's a backup in case something happens?
Right. So definitely. So like recently I had an incident where like the SD card failed. And these things happen. Usually what we do here, we'll have it running in tandem, like connected to the computer as an audio interface, which is what the L series is capable of, all of them, right? And then record it on a digital audio workstation while also recording SD card. So you have
3 backups.
You have 3 backups. And if you wanted to, right, you can send the exact same mix into an external recorder. You can send it into a camera, so you'll never have
just
to worry.
To be safe.
Just to be safe.
You can never know when these things are going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
and save you so much heartache, so much trauma.
It's really that sinking feeling when it happens, right? It's okay. So Jace, can you tell me how you set up an L8 for, let's say, a podcast or audio recording?
Alright, sure. So for the L8, being battery powered, I can just switch it on like this from the AA batteries inside. I can run it from a power bank, and I'll just like magically pull this out from nowhere. So my microphone, I can just run it. Here I can run up to, of course, 6 different microphones if I needed to. Oh, this is a very long cable.
Channel 1.
Channel 1. Run it in, just do a quick sound check. Hey, 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 hey. So make sure I don't clip here, so it doesn't flash red. Hey, 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 right? As close as I can without turning it red.
Yep.
And then say if I were to record it, so I'll just arm the track here, and I can record and I'm good to go, right? At the same time, like if say, talking about backing up, right, I could say run maybe this Zoom H1N. I can actually send the audio from here
into your audio recorder,
into my Zoom H1N. Right here, cables included, of course, right? And I can just press record and record simultaneously both to internally to the SD card and to my H1N. If I wanted to, right, I could actually connect this to my computer as well and actually have like a triplicate of backup. So you never have to worry about your sound disappearing. Of course, with this jack here is that you can actually send it to your handphone as well. So it's a TRS cable. Plug it to your phone will read it as it overrides its internal speakers. So you can actually have up to 6 microphones. You can have instruments running in. You can have sound effects. You can have your sample pads all running to your phone. So you can really up your Insta Story, your Facebook Live audio experience without needing, like say, like a crazy setup.
Who are the L series of recorders for?
Well, the L series is really meant for musicians, right? Because Zoom, they started out with guitar effects before heading on the digital, the audio world. And right now it's really a combination of having both worlds meet together. And so you could use this as purely as a musician. You don't have to be a videographer, cinematographer, or so whatnot. But for videographers, for sound guys who wanted the extra step, having to be able to live mix, for maybe you're doing a band, maybe you're doing MV style recordings, right? This is definitely on the table for you, right? Having the multiple inputs all the way up to 20 inputs, which most field recorders and handy recorders will never reach.
And this can be considered a budget-friendly option, right?
Definitely. At $555, it's a lot more affordable than most traditional analog mixers, while giving you, the ability to record internally, externally, and digitally as well.
So this lowers the barrier of entry, right?
Yeah, definitely it's the lowest barrier of entry.
Well, thanks Jace for having us on CityMusic again.
Alright, glad to have you guys.
You guys want to find out more about these Zoom L recorders, come down to CityMusic and then talk to Jace or any of the friendly people here to tell you all about the Zoom recorders and different audio gear here. So this is FilmTech Media, and we'll see you again next time.